Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daniel and welcome to Dan the Bugman Pest Control channel. In today's video, I'm going to be explaining to you step by step, very simply, how to treat a crawlspace home for termites. Lucky for you, you have come across what I am considering the most straightforward, easy, simple way to treat a crawlspace home for termites. In this video, we're going to be using a liquid chemical treatment. Now, I have done a ton of work getting this laid out simply step by step in very easy steps for you to understand. If you have any questions, just drop a comment, but I don't think you'll have any questions because I believe this is very simple and straightforward. If you can please smash the like button really quick, it only takes 1 second, it'll help out my channel a ton. Okay, so just a quick overview of what we're doing. This house has a crawlspace underneath it. We're going to be treating it with a liquid termite chemical called Termidor. This chemical works very well and is going to eliminate any colonies that are in the area of your house. So first, let me show you what tools you will need to get this job done. All you're going to need are these simple tools. We have one large bucket. It's about 5 gallons. It doesn't matter what size bucket. It needs to be a large bucket though, not 1 or 2 gallons. It needs to be 3, 4, 5, or 6 gallon bucket. We have a small shovel that will be used for mixing chemicals in this bucket. We have the correct amount of the liquid chemical treatment we're using. We have gloves and we have a digging device. And that's all actually we need. You may be thinking, wow, that's not very much, and you're correct. Most important part about today's video is following my instructions step by step to make sure you don't miss anything. I'm going to make this very simple and easy to understand, so just follow along with me and we will have your house treated for termites in no time. So when you're treating a house for termites, you're going to use a liquid chemical treatment. All of these chemicals have a label, and lucky for you, I have read this label and you don't have to read it when you get it. You just have to follow my steps exactly step by step and you'll get this done. The first thing we need to know when we're treating a house for termites is how much chemical we need to use. And how do we figure that out? Well, I read the label and I'm going to tell you how much you need. But what I don't know is how big your house is. So what you need to do is measure the linear footage of the perimeter of your house. Let me say that again, the linear footage of the perimeter of your house. All you need to do is take a measuring wheel, ideally, or you can step it off and figure out what the perimeter length is around the outside of your house. I'm going to be treating this house right here, and I'm also going to be treating this detached garage. Since I'm treating both of these structures, I have measured the perimeter footprint of both of these structures. So I'll just give you guys a second to measure the perimeter of your house because you're going to need to do that before you buy the chemicals online. So welcome back. I hope you just measured the perimeter of your house. I just measured the perimeter and I ended up getting that the perimeter of my main house, the house had a linear footage of 150 linear feet. The detached garage has a linear footage of 80 feet. So 150 plus 80 equals 230. We are going to be treating approximately 230 feet of structure today. One common question you may ask is, do I need to measure the whole perimeter or just the areas where the ground is touching? And my answer is, you need to measure the whole perimeter. So, for example, if you look behind me here, you will see that there is a concrete slab poured right next to the house, okay? I still measured it anyways. We're not actually going to be treating where the concrete slab meets the house, but we still need to know how big the house is because it doesn't matter how much concrete you have around your house. It only matters how big the house is, and that's going to determine the amount of chemical we need to put into the soil. So for example, right next to the house here, there's this porch, okay? We're not going to be treating the concrete, unfortunately. We don't have the tools to do that, but we are going to be treating the soil next to it. Now that you have the linear footage of the perimeter of your house, mine is 230 linear feet. You need to take whatever number and you multiply it by 0.32. So 230 multiplied by 0.32 equals the amount of fluid ounces that I'm going to need to treat my house for termites. So after some quick mathematics in my head, I got that 230 multiplied times 0.32 equals 73.6 fluid ounces. You need to go onto the beautiful internet and order yourself approximately that number of fluid ounces of Termidor. That is the chemical I'm going to be using today, Termidor. It's not sponsored, but it is a very good chemical. And I encourage you, unless you know what you're doing, to not buy any cheaper products than Termidor. In this video, I have read the label of Termidor and have decided how much product I'm buying based on the label. So please don't use a different chemical. It's not a paid promotion. Unfortunately, if anyone from Termidor is watching this and wants to pay me, I would be happy to take your money. That's the chemical we're going to be using in today's treatment, okay? So go online, order that chemical, wait until it gets shipped to your house, and then come back to this video and we will continue doing the rest of the treatment. Welcome back. We waited such a long time to get this chemical delivered, but luckily Termidor has sold me this bottle that is approximately 78 fluid ounces. Now, if you remember, I needed about 73.6 fluid ounces, and if it's a little more, that's perfect. I would rather order just a tiny bit more. If you don't have the right, can't buy exactly how much you need, just order a little bit more and we'll go ahead and use it, and it'll be a little more thorough treatment. So now we've measured the house. We know exactly how much chemical we need. Now all we have to do is apply it to the soil. And that seems pretty straightforward. And honestly, it is. You just got to make sure you do what I say step by step. So now that we have our chemicals ready, we are going to use the other 4 tools that I have told you to get. What you're going to do next is you're going to grab your gloves. You're going to grab your digging utensil of choice. A shovel would work perfect. I have this nice little pick with a shovel at the end. This is a traditional method in the pest control industry of how we dig a trench around the house. Basically, really quick before I show you, we're going to be digging a trench, a hole, along the perimeter of this structure. In this hole, we're going to be pouring mixed termite chemical into the ground. The trench will keep the liquid in the correct spot while it's soaking down into the soil. I'm going to spend the next few minutes digging this trench around my house. I'm not going to show you the whole video. It's probably going to take about 20 to 30 minutes for me to do this, but I will show you quickly how I do an area of the trench, and then you can copy me for the rest of the treatment. Okay guys, so I'm in the middle of digging the trench, but here are 2 common questions that I'm going to get about doing this treatment. At the beginning, and as the title mentions, I'm treating a house that has a crawl space for termites, okay? Just to prove it, there's the crawl space entrance right below me. If your crawl space is big enough that you can dig a trench inside of it, you've got a 6, 7, 8 foot tall area in your crawl space, go ahead and climb in there and dig a little trench. My crawl space is only a couple feet tall, and there's no way I'm going to be getting in there and digging a trench to put the chemical into. So the question is, why are you not treating in the crawl space if this is a crawl space house termite treatment? And the reason is because termites live in the ground around the perimeter of your house. They will come through inside the crawl space, but they're not only living in the crawl space. Termites have a colony system that is going to be outside the perimeter of the home. So when they come in contact with this chemical that is going to be making a barrier around your home, then it will kill off the colony. And the second question I'm going to get is, what do you do when you're digging the trench around the perimeter of your home, but then you come up to an area that is not your house, but you can't dig? For example, the driveway or the sidewalk or a porch around your house. Well, I'm about to show you. What you'll do is you'll simply, for this area over here, for example, I've dug a trench along this whole perimeter. See this beautiful trench all the way around. I'm going to continue digging towards the porch here. And once I get to the porch, I'm going to continue digging out a good 3 or 4 feet out, pretending like I'm still treating the house. But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to keep digging all the way around this poured slab here. That's going to be a waste of time. All you need to do is just come out a little bit. It just gives a little more barrier for your house against the termites, okay? So I'm gonna show you as I dig this. Okay, I'm going to continue coming around the corner here. You just keep on digging. Try not to hit this darn tree and all these other things that are in your way. Just keep on digging. And you turn around, keep on digging this way. Go ahead and take this out of the ground. Okay, so I've dug just out about 3 or 4 feet out. You don't have to keep going. That's all you have to do. Okay guys, I got the trench done for about half the house, and it has me thinking, this is a do-it-yourself termite treatment, but this is a lot of work. It might just be easier just to call a professional, but if you want to do it yourself, this is how you do it. So I'm about halfway done with the trenching. It's a lot of work, but the fun part is coming up soon. We're about to treat the soil for termites, and that's the fun part, and it doesn't take as long. But the trench, it takes the most time for sure. And I'll show you guys this beautiful trench I've made, okay? The trench doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to hold the liquids in it for long enough for them to seep down into the soil. It's about 4 inches into the soil and about 3 or 4 inches across, and that'll be plenty for this area. We got this bad boy filled up with water. Does anybody know how much 1 gallon of water weighs? About 8 pounds. So it's not light. But simply, what we're going to do next is we're going to treat your house in 5 pours of this size bucket. And it doesn't matter exactly what bucket size. We're just going to use the same size bucket. We're going to do 5 pours. The area we're treating is approximately 230 linear feet. 230 divided by 5 is about 25 feet per pour. We want to get all of this chemical into the ground. We want to use about 1/5 of this bottle in each of these buckets. Now, why are we doing it 5 times? Well, there's no magic about 5 times. If you have a smaller bucket, you're going to need to do it 6, 7, 8 pours. If you have a bigger bucket, about 5 times is going to be plenty enough to distribute the chemical equally. We're going to pour approximately 20% of this chemical into this bucket. They have lines on the side, and you can just eyeball it as well. We're going to try to get about 20% of this. So here we go. Let's see where we're at. I'm going to try to get a little bit more in there. That's perfect. Termidor is in the bucket of water, and it's not mixed yet. It's very important to mix it thoroughly. I'm going to spend the next minute or so mixing it up with this little spade. And I do always seem to forget this, but wear gloves. I just cut myself, and I really don't want to get this on my cut. So just wear gloves, and I'm being lazy, and I'm not. So shame on me. Do as I say, not as I do. That's the saying. Now that's looking beautiful. If you come over here and take a look, it looks like milk. And who doesn't love termite milk? So what we're going to do next is take this bucket of mixed Termidor, and we're going to pour it into approximately 25, 26 feet of linear foot. See, that's a problem. Okay guys, so I'm going to pour this bucket into about this whole section of trench here, all across here, and I'm going to go ahead and get this little area right over there as well. So all you got to do is pour this bucket, and the key is to evenly distribute it. So don't pour half of it here and then none of it over there. Just walk and pour a little at a time as you're going across. It's going to seep into the soil. All right, let's check it out as it's seeping into the soil. We got a uniform pour throughout this area. Okay, it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. As long as you get the chemical into the soil, you're gonna have a good treatment. So after you treat 1/5 of the house, all you have to do is literally just do that 4 more times. And once you do that, you will have your full bottle of Termidor into the soil around the perimeter of your house. And we talked about this earlier. We already measured out how much chemical you need. So when you're mixing it, you don't have to measure it. You just have to equally distribute it. That's the key. After we equally distribute it, I'm gonna come back, just cover it back up with my boot. And just keep on covering it back up, okay? That's just about it, guys. After you treat your home for termites, this is a do-it-yourself termite treatment. This is not talking about any kind of inspection or anything like that. You still need to inspect your house for termites at least once a year. But we just treated your house for termites. Congratulations. The termites should be dead within a couple weeks. It does take a little bit of time for the Termidor to kill off the colony. But the good news is you've got this great chemical into the soil around the perimeter of your home. If you have any questions about the treatment, just let me know. This is a do-it-yourself treatment. It's not perfect, but it is very, very good. Please do not pour the termite chemical into the soil if it's not going into the trench. It's going to cause runoff, and it's not going to go where it's meant to be. It's meant to be in the soil right next to your house. Thank you guys so much for watching. And like I said, just continue doing the treatment around the perimeter of your house. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys watch as I do the next section of this house. So you can just watch me. I'm gonna go ahead and roll it. We'll do a time lapse of me doing this next section, but it's the same idea. Just fill the bucket up with water and then go ahead and evenly pour it throughout the next section. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, my name is Daniel. This is Dan the Bugman Bug Channel, and that is how you treat a house for termites.